I want to redesign Alastor. If you've seen some of my reviews for Hazbin Hotel, you know Alastor is my least favorite character. But it's not just his personality and overhyped blandness I don't like his design much either. It's not the absolute worst design from the show. Obviously it's St. Peter, yuck. Anyways, I want to make something very clear. I'm not redesigning Alastor out of spite. Despite my dislike for the character, no, I'm not trying to imply I'm better or anything. I'm purely just doing this for fun. And also, honestly, he's literally the only character I think could excel with some revisions to their design. Everyone else in the main cast I've thought about, and honestly I have no notes. Sure, they might be a bit busier with some more stripes and spots than my usual preferences, but that's clearly part of VivziePop's art direction and style. Any sort of touch-ups to their designs that I think would be a benefit are really minor things, like changing a color palette here or there, you know? Alastor is the only one where I think there's room to really play around with visual upgrades that, in theory, could elevate the design compared to what the show proper has, for me. But like I said, this is just for fun. I personally really love redesigns. I think it's a cool way to see other people's ideas while exploring recognizable characters and themes. Not just Hazbin Hotel, but also like Ruby, My Little Pony, Monster High, all kinds of stuff. When it comes to Hazbin though, Alastor in particular, people usually steer really far away from Vivzie's art style and do something really original to them, which is fine, and also fun. But I'm going to be doing things a bit different. I'm going to do 2 different redesigns, but with both of them, I'm just going to try and edit official art for Alastor to keep it in the style of the show. And why 2 different designs? Well, first, I want to do a redesign where I change as few things as possible. I think approaching a redesign with a minimalist approach can be a great way to really hammer down the real small reasons a design doesn't work for you. It's easy to get caught up in the big changes, but staying so close to the original as possible can be a good learning experience. After I've done the minimal redesign changes, I'll then branch out into my own, much more dramatic redesign. First things first, how would I go about approaching Alastor's design to be quote-unquote better in my opinion? And remember, better is subjective. Design and redesign in general is always subjective. First, I'm gonna get rid of his monocle. Honestly, just getting rid of the monocle alone would help Alastor a ton. It's just an unnecessary addition. It uniquely busies up his face in a weirdly distracting way. My goal is to make his smile feel much more prominent. It is sort of his main feature of the character.
Smile, my dear! You know you're never fully dressed without one.
The monocle just weirdly interrupts his smile, and I can't stand it. But while I'm taking away features of his design, I'm also axing his antlers. Every time I point out Alastor has these tiny little antlers, I inevitably get at least one comment of someone being like, OMG, I never even realized they were there. Most of the time with redesigns, I see people making them bigger, which I understand why they choose that idea, but I'm going opposite. I'm thinking of it more like Charlie with her horns. They pop out when she starts going to her powerhouse mode. Alastor already does something similar with his antlers that get really big when he goes all out. Having them be teeny tiny here adds nothing to the design when he's in casual settings. So let's just get rid of them entirely. His ear hair things portray the deer themes plenty fine enough already. Another common thing I see is people changing his hair a lot. I've come to terms with the fact his chopped weird undercut is just a part of his character.
It's gonna take a lot more to fix that hairdo.
I'm not changing the style, I'm only going to change a little color detail. I'm getting rid of the black part on the bottom. It just doesn't add anything, you know? It instead weirdly frames his eyes and nose, but again, I want his smile to stand out. The dark bottom part feels like an odd interruption, and also just makes his design feel really blocky. Odd horizontal lines with his hair right next to the vertical lines of his suit. It's not helping leading my eye through the design, you know? A really subtle thing I'm changing is the red of his shoes to match his hair color. It might not seem like a very important color change, but I think this helps to balance the design a bit more. I'm also going to get rid of the black gloves. Gloves I think they're gloves. He just already has so much black in his design, and I want his natural skin tone to pop on top of it, help keep his hands really visible all the time, you know? But we can keep the red claws though, a nice parallel to Vox's own clawed hands. Aside from the monocle, this next thing is the most important fix, in my opinion. I'm making the hem of his coat nicer. Why is it all torn up? The goofiest part in season 1, Pinchas tears a bit off, and Alastor acts like it somehow affected his look.
Ah, yes. You're the one who ruined my coat.
Al, it already looks like you dragged this out of the garbage. Alastor is very proud and presents himself in a very dignified way. This torn up coat just doesn't match his character. Even the dialogue in the show implies this design choice does not work, so I'm just gonna patch it up. One last thing, I hate his white collar deal here. The crisscrossing shapes acts like an odd bullseye that distracts from his face and hands. The fact this is the only white in his outfit also really draws your eye to this spot. It's doing nothing. I'm literally just getting rid of it entirely. He's now just wearing a solid black shirt. This should help keep your eye moving up with his stripes and lead your eye up to his face. And yeah, that's it. Truly not that different, you know? This is what I mean. I think little changes can help exemplify the real issues with a design. You don't always need big, over-the-top, crazy changes. Simple little edits can also work. But I know you all want to see my take on a big, grandiose redesign, so let's dive into that. These are the things where I don't think it's necessary to elevate Alastor's design more than his canon look. It's just extra details that I personally would prefer. Right off the bat, I'm picking up right where I left off with my subtle redesign changes. This can be our starting point for bigger changes moving forward. And perhaps, unsurprisingly, I am changing his bangs to match his human counterpart. I might have come to terms with the back of his hairstyle, but I can't deny, I think his Hellform's bangs look silly. Very much Butch Hartman's style of doing bangs, you know? Similar to what I was saying with his coat, this just doesn't feel like a style a refined individual like Alastor would present himself with. Also, his human hair looks really nice, so I'm literally just going to copy it for his new bangs here. Now, because I axed the antlers, I actually want to push the deer idea a little bit more here. First, by actually implying his shoes are hooves. An incredibly small edit, but I think it works. And more importantly, I'm getting rid of his nose and I'm gonna give him a deer nose instead. Okay, it's deer-ish. I know deer actually have like much wider noses, but most of Al's face real estate is being used for his smile, so we can go with a little bit more of a small one instead. Similar to Charlie's nose, actually. Okay. So this is going to be the big one. This is the biggest change I'm making to his design. If there's any part about this redesign that people are going to hate, I'm willing to bet it's going to be this one. But I want you to hear me out. Let me explain myself. I have a reason for it, okay? You ready? Green. I'm making him green. I'm changing him to green. I know. It's very different. There's a lot of red in this show. Of course there is. It's hell. Most characters have red, or at least pink in their designs somewhere. That's fine. But usually they also get a pop of another color, like white, black, yellow, or orange, etc., etc. But Alastor has a lot of red. He is overwhelmingly red, and it really dawned on me when he wore that cute little pink thing to Rosie's in season 2, that this much red without any other prominent accent color really doesn't work for Al. But why am I choosing green? Why not just add more accent colors to this design? Well, here I go. First, I think Alastor would want to stand out. He would want to be prominent and eye-catching. Second, I choose green in particular because he already has green. His magic is green. Now, your magic doesn't need to match your design, just look at Rosie's golden ribbons. But it was Alastor's green magic that initially put this color change into my mind, because the most important thing, I want him to be the equal and opposite of Lucifer. The most interesting detail about Alastor is his rivalry with him.
You are much shorter in real life.
Who is this? Who is this man? Are you the bellhop?
I also suspect Alastor is going to be the final villain of the whole show. I don't think he's really aligned with Charlie in the hotel, it's just a means to an end. If he's green, he automatically feels like he does not match this team in any way. But also, by doing green, we can make allusions to him being a green apple, to mirror Lucifer's themes of red apples. A red apple with a pure pure white center versus a green apple rotten to the core. I think it not only makes Alastor more visually distinct, but plays with this rivalry from Lucifer in a fun way. I chose more muted greens to play with an idea of dead, rotting meat, you know, this whole cannibal and eats deer and whatever thing. But I also wanted the brighter, more lime color of his magic to still pop. But I suppose you could just redesign his magic to now be red. And lastly, I didn't want him looking like a copy and paste of Zestial or Zizi, who also both feature a lot more bright neon greens in their designs. After that, my last few changes are just gonna be really minor. First, make his teeth white. The yellow does not work as well with the green. And again, I want his smile to be the most prominent feature. Then the last thing is just changing up the color of greens I chose for his shoes to help balance the design a bit more, and bam! This is my more dramatic redesign for Alastor. This was fun, and I hope you had fun. Again, because I know the Hasbin fandom can get weird about redesigns sometimes. I'm not saying my redesigns are better than the show's canon designs. If you think my ideas are bad and make the design worse, that's totally fine. Art is subjective and supposed to be fun. If you have your own ideas on how you would redesign Alastor, I'd love to see them in the comments. Or if you think his design is perfect as is, I would love to see you explain why you think so in the comments as well. Extra special shout out to my $100 patron, Mesothelioma. If they come up with a redesign, it's gonna be perfect because they have good, smart ideas. Shout out to my $10 patrons, you're all amazing. Andrew, Valhalla Knight, Chamomile, Classy Critic, Azoth, Genital War Thunder, Jake, Amber, Scaring Crows, Messiah, Jacob, Ben Sketchbook, Lucienne, Wild Pilot, Bunkin Duncan, Hoodie Angel, Ranger, C1 Trooper, Tech, Lavaros, Unspoken, Tyrene, Thanos, Pandora, Peter, Aguri, Eden, Silverheart Soul, Doki Pokey, Zappy, Wolfgang, Philip, Nerf Ned, Middle Coop, Cat with a Knife, Rose, Mar Ruby, The Lover, Maximum Warp, and Senior Columbia. So yeah, what do you think? Did you like my redesign? It's been a while since I've tried redesigning something, but this Alastor one has just been in my head for a good couple of months now, so it was fun finally sitting down and just doing it. So let me know what you think. Would you like change anything? Do you agree or disagree with any of my changes or stuff? What would you do? Any thoughts and opinions? I would love to see them in the comments below. I have no ideas for redesigning other characters, but if you have other ideas in mind, I would love to see them. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.